Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the surprisingly captivating mechanics of how a simple pantry staple actually comes to be. We're looking directly at a piece of source material that puts it pretty concisely: how peanut butter makes full factory process. Okay, let's just dive right into this, because what sounds like a straightforward, almost blunt industrial statement actually opens the door to a fascinating world of mechanical transformation. We're going to break down exactly what that means, exploring the journey from raw ingredients to the finished product you know and love.
So, have you ever actually stopped to think about the massive industrial journey behind that simple jar sitting quietly in your pantry? I mean, we interact with these products every single day, right? Yet we rarely pause to consider the epic, almost heroic journey those raw ingredients had to undertake just to get there. It really is a true hero's journey, but instead of a fantasy landscape, our hero is navigating the highly engineered, meticulously controlled environment of the factory floor. They enter as raw potential and basically undergo a complete mechanical metamorphosis.
Section 1. The Peanut Butter Mystery. Unlocking the Factory Journey.
Section 2. The factory process. Step by step on the conveyor belt.
Okay, this is where we transition into the very heart of the process. I want you to really start imagining the momentum of this environment. The raw materials arrive at the facility right at the very beginning of their chronological industrial transformation. There's this specific rhythm to a factory line, a continuous forward motion driven by the conveyor belt. The entire sequence breaks down into 3 core stages. Step 1, entering the factory floor. Step 2, undergoing the full industrial process. And Step 3, emerging as the final product. Grind, churn, package. Grind, churn, package. It's a highly rhythmic, sensory-driven environment. You can almost hear the hum of the machinery and feel the vibration of those conveyor belts. The raw ingredients, they don't just gently become a spread. They are actively and mechanically transformed through intense, purposeful action. It's literally a relentless, step-by-step march toward becoming that recognizable household staple. The sheer scale of this full factory process is, quite frankly, an everyday engineering marvel. It's incredibly easy to take for granted. We just pop off a lid, grab a knife, and think absolutely nothing of it. But the magnitude of industrial food production required to turn simple, earthy elements into a perfectly standardized household staple is absolutely staggering. We're talking about vast systems of mechanics, thermodynamics, and precise timing, all working in perfect harmony. It's a massive marvel of human engineering hiding in plain sight, right there on your kitchen counter. So, what do we actually mean when we use that phrase? Well, a full factory process is the complete start-to-finish industrial sequence required to transform raw ingredients into a final packaged product. It's a continuous, highly engineered loop. There are no gaps, there is zero room for error. And this unwavering precision is exactly why your morning toast always tastes so perfectly consistent. You aren't just relying on a recipe, you're relying on a massive, perfectly calibrated sequence that guarantees the exact same result, millions of times over.
Section 3. The final transformation from factory to pantry. Now, as we follow the timeline of this process, we experience this massive shift in energy. The chaotic, intense mechanical energy of the factory floor, the loud grinding, the rapid churning, the continuous motion of the conveyor belts, it all must eventually come to an end. It culminates in a moment of sudden stillness. All of that kinetic industrial force is neatly captured, sealed, and transformed into the tranquil, static jar that eventually makes its way into your home. The journey concludes with an incredible sense of order, bringing us right back to our foundational text, how peanut butter makes full factory process. It's a uniquely concise statement, yet it completely encompasses this massive hidden world of industrial mechanics we've been exploring today. It doesn't need to list every single gear, belt, or motor. By simply stating makes full factory process, the source material captures the absolute totality of the transformation. It is a true testament to how a few simple words can represent a sprawling, complex reality of modern engineering. So, here's a question for you. Next time you open a jar, will you see just a simple spread or the final triumph of a massive industrial journey? Because once you really understand the mechanics, the scale, and the engineering marvel of the full factory process, it becomes nearly impossible to look at everyday items the exact same way. You aren't just looking at food anymore. You're looking at the culmination of an incredible, highly orchestrated journey. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this fascinating process, and I hope it leaves you with a brand new appreciation for the extraordinary hidden inside the ordinary.